Hello traders, petar.jacimovic here. I want to post the update on my positioning and my positions on US Japanese yen as you see, and if you follow my work on the Forex Factory journal, on my journal, you probably know that I'm very bullish on the US Japanese yen, and I'm adding position as long the fundamentals remain the same as I said in my previous videos. Basically, I started to buy this currency pair after Yellen's speech, after I saw that the Kuroda actually said a few times that we may see the further easing, that the Bank of Japan won't hesitate to do further easing, buying assets, ETFs, and so on, which can weaken and which will weaken the Japanese yen if that happens. So we have the divergence between two central banks. And the price action, of course, is the last thing which will change. So you must understand that part. And that's what I'm explaining also a lot in my mentorship program, and the whole concept of professional trading approach and how you to position yourself like professional. Most of the traders, again, as I spoke in my webinar, if you follow my webinar, they base trade on the technical analysis. Like most of the retail traders, they base trade on technical analysis, trying to find with quotes the holy grail, and trying to and think that, for example, the price is going up or downward because of their indicator of their trend line or day whatever. But basically, in the professional world, and every professional will tell you that basically what brings the supply and demand on the market and the high liquidity is basically based on the fundamental analysis and market analysis, which represents, for example, what can represent? For example, for the countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the central banks cannot put so much importance, even they cut the rates or do something. Their importance, it's not that big, like, for example, Fed, which is the strongest from every central bank. And then we got also the Bank of England, also very strong, the ECB, and the Bank of Japan. So these are the strongest. And then we got, and when you see the Fed hike, or you see the hike in the Great Britain or ECB, that have huge impact on the Forex. But the rates on the other countries, yeah, they have effect, of course, but not that much like on these bigger central banks. So, for example, on the Australian dollar, for example, Canadian dollar, New Zealand dollar, we're very related to the commodities because of their largest exports. For example, oil in the Canada, or copper and gold in Australia. So, and so you must follow the sentiment, the fundamentals, to understand every day and be informed, because at the end of the day, the information is what the most important thing. So if you gather enough information, if you understand these informations, and you have a big advantage over average trader investor, because this is the hardest part. I mean, is to to collect the informations all over. Try to find the best fundamental condition and what currency pair can bring you the best benefit of that condition. Okay, I liked so far the USD yen and USD Canadian dollar, but I decided USD Japanese yen. It will be wrong if you decide also USD Canadian dollar, because we got divergence there. The oil price is going lower, and so on and so on. So I started to buy the USD Japanese yen. So in technical analysis, I got some questions on my thread on the Forex Factory, and by the way, feel free to ask any question there. So just post your question. I got question, for example, do I base trade, and do I use volume to base trade on how I use that? And I also got the email where I got the question about how what's actually the driver, and how is that reflect on the market. And again, in technical analysis, technical aspect is maybe the most easiest, by the way, and people got a very big misunderstanding about the technical analysis generally. Um, so, I mean, look at it this way. If you want to build the best profits and the most consecutive success and results, you need to be fundamental trader in the base. Okay, you need to understand what's going on. That's absolutely for every financial market. So it doesn't matter if it's a stock market, if it's a forex, if it's so any market, you need to understand fundamentals. Okay, I will not open the chart, and most professionals will not even open the chart if there is nothing big fundamental. Okay, for example, I didn't open the USD Japanese yen as you know, for the moment when the Yellen said that, and I saw from the comment for potential rate hike, this was a big, and the investors spotted as well that, and we got reflection. The price, again, the price is the latest and the last thing what will change. Before the price, what will change? It will change the activity, the traders' opinions will change before the price, because the price cannot change before the trader's opinion. For example, if there is some sellers at the moment when the Yellen, let's say that we got a lot of sellers before the Yellen speech, so they didn't pay attention on the Yellen speech, that can bring a potential big liquidity and change in the short-term fundamentals, since they don't even have a clue about that. So a lot of sellers there, and so on and so on. Once they saw this and big demand came in, so a lot of sellers exited, they reversed their position and so on, and the final result is basically you find in the price. So what I want to tell you here, there is at least 5 things which will go before the price. Okay, and the price is basically a reflection of humans' behavior. Okay, so here, you know, we got here the fractal, so strong upward movement. The fractal here, I use a lot of fractals when I trade, because it's a very simple method, and you don't need to think too much. You know, you don't need to think about your very good position, always in alignment, and you know, and trying to catch the momentum. So this is a very good. I mean, you can combine also, of course, you can put. You can use the Fibonacci ratio, of course, it's nothing wrong with that, but just don't too complicate, okay? Don't complicate about that, because technical part, as I said, it's maybe maybe it's the easiest part, and it is the easiest part. So here we got up fractal here. The breakout of up fractal gave me the very good opportunity to buy due to already strong fundamental. So fundamental is basically my key decision why I'm in this currency pair, but technical analysis is basically only used, I mean it's used for benefit of that fundamental picture you establish it. So that's the key point. And also on the stock you have fundamentals in different dimension. You have the earnings per share, you have the P ratio, you have the revenue growth per quartals, and so on and so on. Okay, so generally speaking, there is absolute fundamentals what will bring the supply and demand and buyers and sellers in the first place. Okay, so I bought my positions, my first positioning at 100 to 35, 100 to 30. So I bought the breakout of this fractal. The stop loss at that point was at this down fractal here. Now the price went higher. We created this new up fractal yesterday, and the price broke and filled this fractal up. So I bought in the breakout of that fractal. Also, I took a lot of like 3-4 positions more, because I did lower frames, and I tried to find the fractals on the lower frames, like 1 hour. I don't like to trade anything less than, for example, 1 hour. So the 30 minutes is maybe the lowest frame I will trade, but 4 hour, 1 hour, and daily, it's what I prefer. So here we got yesterday a lot of up fractals. I mean, we got 1, we got 2, 3, 4. This fourth didn't fill here, so This 4 didn't fill here, but we got the 3 fractals here. So here buying at the breakout of this fractal here and breakout of this fractal here. The stop loss at that moment was at this point here, but as the price progressed, as we created the 2 new fractals here, I put the stop loss from this area to this area. So now how the price progressing, as you see that my positions are pretty much, I'm already locked. I already locked here the 75 pips and 65 from these first positions of buying, and from the yesterday's buying I'm like 45-50 pips in plus, and today's buying I'm in plus like 20 pips. Okay, so and my stop loss is again at this point here, and that's also the down fractal on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so this is my main target basically. So if we speak about the main target, my main target is 105.50, but the major is 106.50 area, this area where we got massive supply. This will be my major target, and I'm aiming for like 400 pips, but I will add as long the price, you know, and watch the price and see where I can add. As long the price gives me possibility to add, I will add, and once I reach this area, then I will potentially exit all my positions and wait to see what will happen here. But of course, if the fundamental will remain the same and so on, the price will have no problem to go even above this. Anyway, we can see right now the price went lower because of the news in US. So we got some sell-off here of 30 pips. Pardon, 20-25 pips, and price right now probably will retest these swing highs, and probably the buyers will find another. The buyers will again push this higher, so they will protect their buying here, and this may be only a stopping action and just news effect. Okay, but still. The fundamental picture is absolutely remains the same. This is only one economic release, and I'm just sitting on this one, and I have my stop loss. So even if something happen, which I don't expect, the price will go lower, and it will close me here, and I will take 75 2 times from these current positions and lose some of here. Okay, but that is the worst case scenario. Since I'm very strongly bullish here, this may be only again news action. So this is about the US Japanese yen. Again, this up fractal broken, and probably price only went to retest that on the news, use the news like filter for the supply and then the demand, and the buyers will probably, the same buyers which bought here, so the same traders and buyers who bought at this point, they will absolutely, in my opinion, protect this buying. And this is why, you know, maybe you heard that the resistance becoming support. Basically, in the reality, that is that the buyers who bought in the breakout protecting their positions. So that's just my observation. I mean, how it's happening. So basically, the breakout traders protecting their positions once they see that their position is in danger, and you know they need to add more buying positions if they want to protect this from further lower price and further drop. Yeah, that's about the US Japanese yen. Again, the fundamental picture is what drives the market, and the technical analysis, it's maybe the easiest thing to do. Okay, so if you find the good fundamentals, divergence between the banks, and anything fundamental that you see there is a divergence, and you start to add position, if the position is progressing good, then you're in the good way, because you know that you're right. I mean, let's say that you did the research, you gather information all around the world, and you find a divergence. Let's say you think this is the divergence, and then you start, let's say, for example, you start to buy, but the price don't go there, and struggling to go there and don't go in your favor and hit your stop loss and so on. That will probably, and that will signal that you're not maybe wrong in your fundamental observation, and that you need the stronger arguments, fundamentals, to start to establish your positions and your plan. So if you check here, if I bought here and the price progressing higher, so this is a very good sign. So I bought here and price progressing higher, this is a very good sign, and everything is intact still. Okay, so that is about the US-Japanese yen. I hope this will go upward, and again, my area here is 103 area. If the price reach this 103, I'm out and I'm out of this, trying to add positions, and I'm out of all positions, so I don't want to hold. If the price breaks also this 4-hour fractal, okay, and these two fractals on the 1-hour time frame, I'm out. So I will wait new opportunity. As long this is going as I plan, this is very good. USD Canadian dollar. Where is this? Yeah, this is the USD Canadian dollar. USD Canadian dollar basically filled this up fractal, and the USD Canadian dollar is the also I didn't trade this, okay, but it's pretty similar like USD Japanese yen. We got here up fractal, and the price basically filled this. We got here up fractal, filled this, but don't forget the stop loss should be, if you want to trade this, the stop loss should be at this point here, not anything above. Okay, since I see only this one fractal here, but show it here, since this buying and this buying, I will absolutely put stop loss all the way here. Okay, so that will be my placement if I'm trading this fractals on the USD Canadian, right? Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to do in this video. Again, if you want to start your professional career and to start your professional journey, feel free to add me on the Skype. It's not actually my mentorship course, it's not expensive at all, because you will absolutely I will teach you absolutely the same concept, the same routine I'm doing every day, reading the news, collecting the informations. I will tell you the sources of these informations, what is the best source, how to follow the central banks and their actions and so on, what's important, what's not. And the 3 or 4 days of mentorship program will be about to understand the fundamentals and how to read the fundamentals. Once you understand that principle, we can go further to the technical aspect, where I explain you about volume, but the key point will be basically basic principles, the fractals, price action for itself, Fibonacci, and also some volume aspect, but nothing too complicated at all. So since the technical analysis, again, it is a absolutely easiest thing in the professional trading. So the hardest part will be to gather the information and understand the fundamental picture and conditions in the current moment for the currency pairs. And once you see where we got the best divergence in the fundamentals and where we got the best fundamental picture, then we go into the process of which currency pair will be the best to trade, and then we use a technical analysis to benefit and do the entry and to position ourselves and position ourselves according to our fundamental picture. That's the key point. That will be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Add me on the Skype, if you want to talk about corporation, feel free to subscribe my YouTube channel and follow me on my trading journal on the Forex Factory Thread. Bye bye and have a good day.